Hi, I'm Danielle with Put a Finish on It. If you're a writer looking for an editor, let me know. I'm here today with my November wrap-up. On November 30th, go me! I read 6 books in November, 3 from the 1980s and 3 from the 2010s, so that's a pretty good balance for me. First was The Language of Goldfish by Zibby O'Neill from 1980. 13-year-old Carrie begins having dizzy spells and thinks longingly of the time that she and her sister used to spend by their goldfish pond. Her sister now plays records and dates boys, but all Carrie wants to do is draw. She doesn't like change and isn't ready to grow up, and her parents go on thinking everything is fine. Similar in themes to the anorexia novels of the same era. It's a favorite for many people on Goodreads. Then I went to the library for something new and found Something to Hold by Catherine Schlick-No, published in 2011. I was intrigued by this one because it's a novel based on the author's experiences as a white child living on an Indian reservation. It's 1962 and 11-year-old Kitty moves with her family to Warm Springs Reservation in Oregon, where her dad works for the Forestry Service. Kitty isn't comfortable being one of 2 white kids in class, and she's not comfortable being taught the state song or being taught about Columbus Day by a white teacher. While I enjoyed those moments, they were subplot to a storyline about an abusive white stepfather of Kitty's classmates. The climactic scenes at the end felt almost out of place in this quiet story, which I would have preferred to stay focused on friendship, place, and identity. Next, I read another library pick, a middle grade novel in verse, The Red Pencil by Andrea Davis-Pinkney, illustrated by Shane Evans, published in 2014. The story is set in 2003 and 2004 in Darfur. This story attempts to make a complex region and history accessible to young readers. 12-year-old Amira lives on a farm with her parents and younger sister. Affected by the violence there, her family must move to a camp, while her best friend has moved to the city to go to school. Amira too wants to attend school, but her mother believes that marriage and children is the only path for her. I loved Amira's anger at the way her father fought with their neighbor, and her frustration at her mother's old-fashioned ideas. But I wish the story hadn't ended so abruptly. The story was meant to be hopeful, but Amira's reality is far from it. Then I finally picked up my pre-ordered copy of First and Then by Emma Mills, published this year. I've enjoyed Emma's YouTube channel Elmify since the beginning, and it's been immensely exciting and satisfying to live vicariously through this intelligent, funny college kid's journey to becoming a published author. I really enjoyed this story. It was a fun, easy read, and that's sometimes exactly what you want. The kind of story that makes you happy. I enjoyed the protagonist, Devon. I enjoyed her sarcasm and the way she lamented her ordinariness and her lack of particular talent for anything. Lots of us can relate to that one. I really liked the relationships between Devon and her cousin Foster, and between Devon and Ezra. I loved the lighter moments and the more serious ones as well. I did feel that this book was on the edge of having too many characters, needing as it did to fill out the high school scene. Most of the characters weren't developed and didn't have complete resolution. Just a bit more could have been done with Devon's longtime love interest Cass. I enjoyed the main character, her development and growth, and her love of Jane Austen, enough that I was feeling quite happily satisfied in the end. After that, I decided to squeeze in a couple short classic 80s YA novels, both Laurel Leaf books by Dell with the Young Love Locket logo. Anyone out there remember these? First was The Moon on a String by Trisha Springstub from 1982. It was really quite good. Ignore the Young Love Locket on the front, don't judge this book by its cover, and pick it up if you get the chance. Deirdre Shea has just graduated from high school, and rather than enroll in the junior college and marry the farm boy she's known all of her life, she moves to Boston to find herself and really live. She meets college boy Tad, who wears Nietzsche t-shirts and is either pessimistic or realistic. But Deirdre decides that beauty is just as real as all of the bad stuff in the world. And she learns that everyone is connected as well as entirely alone. Honestly, beautifully written and very relevant. Last I read If It's Not Funny, Why Am I Laughing? By Philippa Green Mulford, also from 1982. Oh, 80s teen romances. Nothing in this cautionary tale is romantic. Mimi is nearly 16 and is surprised to learn that her best friend has started having sex. Should she follow suit? While this does have some dated, read conservative, ideas about sex, the book still asks the questions everyone has to struggle with. Am I ready? Should I do this? I hope every reader today would be alarmed by the boys' behavior, and that we've moved beyond the pressure and expectation that seem to consume them. Mimi is relatable in her sarcasm and humor, and I can almost give this one 3 stars. And those are all 6 books I completed in November. Now, for those of you who've actually made it to the end, I'd like to do a giveaway for my subscribers. If you are a subscriber in the US who would like to have my copy of First and Then, leave a comment. In this season of giving, I would like this book to go to someone who really wants it and who may not be able to afford it just now. So leave a positive, thoughtful comment below, and I'll contact the recipient after December 11th. December 11th, 2015 is the last day to leave a comment for this giveaway. That's it for me today. Thanks for watching.